What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Egis Klimas, manager of Olympic two-time gold medalist, three-division world champion, and reigning IBF lightweight world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, first ballot Hall of Famer, Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko. And obviously, the big question is Lomachenko coming back? Right? Is Lomachenko going to make his way back to the sport of boxing? We all know that it's said that Lomachenko has a serious back injury that could be a career-ending back injury that prevents Lomachenko from making his way back to the sport of boxing, right? And so with that said, Egis Klimas says that Lomachenko is not done, but in the same token, he contradicts himself and says, if he comes back. Is he coming back? He says that everybody's saying that Lomachenko is done and everybody's gunning for him now. But if he comes back, he's not done, but if he comes back, which one is it? Is he coming back or is he done? Right? That's number one, right? Number two, he says that the fight that they're aiming for when Lomachenko comes back is a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. And he cited that this is a fight that Lomachenko has been chasing since 2018 when he wanted to unify the belts against Gervonta Tank Davis, and Tank Davis never made the fight happen. We know the history behind that. Floyd Mayweather says that Lomachenko was older fighter, and he was desperate, and he needed to fight, and Tank is not in a rush, so on and so forth, right? With that said, Tank reached out to make a fight with Lomachenko, a unification bout at lightweight, for November, and Lomachenko pulled out the fight. Come to find out, as I stated, and many people stated, Lomachenko ducked Gervonta Tank Davis. Come to find out, he's dealing with a serious back injury, right? And don't know if he's going to come back physically, if he will be able and capable of coming back. So that's the holdup with Lomachenko in his career, right? But then he says that that's the best fight to make at 135 for Lomachenko. It's exciting fight for Lomachenko, and I agree. It'd be a very exciting fight. But then they proceed to say that Lomachenko should really be undefeated because he got questionable losses on his resume. He's really 21-0. No, he ain't. He 18-3. That's what he is. He's 18-3. Right? He lost to Orlando Salido. He lost to Teofimo Lopez, and then he lost to Devin Haney. Talking about their questionable wins. They consistently try to erase the blemishes on Lomachenko's record. He lost. Period. And the issue that I have when it's a black fighter that has a close fight, they want to tell you he lost. When it's a Caucasian fighter or a Mexican fighter that has a close fight, they want to tell you it was a blunder and it should be erased. These same people will tell you that Floyd Mayweather lost to Jose Luis Castillo. They'll consistently, he really lost to Jose Luis Castillo. He really lost the first fight to Marco Chino Madonna, right? This is what they'll tell you about Floyd Mayweather, right? In fights that he won. But when Lomachenko loses close fights, they'll tell you that Lomachenko got robbed and he got a raw deal and that Lomachenko really won. And every time you saw a telecast with ESPN and Top Rank, they would show you Lomachenko record with no losses on it. Undefeated. Nasty work. Anyway, with that said, he was asked by my brother Hans. Shout out to Hans. Shout out to YSM Sports. He was asked about Shakur Stevenson, right? This is a fight Shakur Stevenson is willing to make the fight. He's been chasing the fight. And he says that Shakur Stevenson is boring. And he shells up and gonna run. And that makes for a boring fight that nobody wants to watch. So the best fight to be made is Tank Davis versus Lomachenko, because Tank Davis is more exciting. He comes to fight. I don't know if people knows this, but Tank has a lower output in activity work than Shakur Stevenson. The thing that makes Tank exciting is because if he hits you, he knocks you out, you up out of there. He has the ability to knock you out with one punch, the ability to change the fight with one punch. He has the lowest work rate of anybody in boxing. It's the threat that makes him exciting. It's the threat of watching two Cobras face off against each other, and neither one of them is striking. But the threat that Gervonta Tank Davis presents, that's what makes him exciting. If he didn't have knockout power, how exciting would he be? Because he's not very active. We just saw in his fight with Lamont Roach Jr., through 6 rounds, they landed a total of 52 punches. Midway point. That's on par and on schedule to do the same thing that Shakur Stevenson and Edwin De Los Santos did when they landed a total of 107 punches. Or 115 punches, something of that magnitude. If you double that at the halfway point, Tank Davis was losing. Tank Davis was very inactive, him and Lamont Roach. Total of 52 punches. You double that, it's only 12 rounds in a fight. That means if they stayed on that pace, they would have landed 104 punches combined. And it went to the decision. But it's the threat that Gervonta Tank Davis presents, that he can change the fight at any point in time. That's what makes him exciting, because you're on the edge of your seat all the time, because just one punch he lands can change the fight. That's what makes him more exciting than Shakur Stevenson. Because if you truly watch it, he is defensive just like Shakur Stevenson. He'll stand and throw combinations every now and then, but he picks his punches very strategically. There's no difference. The difference is, well, there is a difference. The major difference is he has a lot more power than Shakur Stevenson has. And I'm tired of professional fighters talking about how boring another fighter is. It is your job to make it exciting. It is your job to cut the ring off. It is your job to force that man to fight. You never hear David Benavidez say he don't want to fight a specific fighter because that fight is boring. You know why? People said Demetrius Andrade is boring. The fight he had with David Benavidez was exciting. You know why? Because David Benavidez cut the ring off. People say Anthony Durrell was boring. It wasn't boring with David Benavidez because he cut the ring off. People say Dimitri Bivol is boring. It's not boring with Artur Beterbiev because Artur Beterbiev cuts the ring off and forces him to fight. So the 2 fights that Artur Beterbiev had with Dimitri Bivol wasn't boring. You know why? Because Artur Beterbiev forced him to fight. David Benavidez forces his opponents to fight. So therefore, people said that at times when you watch David Morrell fight with Hot Rod, it was boring. Well, it wasn't boring with David Benavidez. You know why? Because David Benavidez forces you to fight. It is your job to cut the ring off and force that man to fight. People said Devin Haney was boring. His fight with Lomachenko was one of the fights up for Fight of the Year. Because why? Lomachenko forced him to fight. No, the problem is Shakur has the best defense in all of boxing, and even in the pocket, you can't hit him. And that's why people say he's boring, because they know they can't hit him. But anyway, I would love to see Lomachenko come back and fight Gervonta Tank Davis. If he's healthy and able to come back, let's make that fight happen. And I don't want to hear any excuses from Lomachenko and his team to say that, oh, Lomachenko lost because his back. Because Gervonta Tank Davis knocks out Lomachenko. Igor Klima said the rest is doing him justice, is benefiting him. Lomachenko loses to Tank Davis, they're going to try to tell you that it was his back ailment. No. He says this is the best version of Loma. He's well rested, he's healthy, and he's coming back. I want to see it, and I believe Tank. I thought Tank would knock him out 2018. And I definitely think he's going to knock him out now. Lomachenko cannot fight on the back foot. He struggles on the back foot. He'll make you miss and he'll be defensive, but he struggles on the back foot. That was proven against Salido, Devin Haney, and Teofimo Lopez. And Tank Davis has what that they don't have? The ultimate power. And if Tank Davis is aggressive against Lomachenko and coming forward and always in a threatening posture and don't let him steal rounds, Tank is going to knock out Lomachenko. And we've seen Lomachenko dropped in the past by southpaws. Jorge Linares dropped him. Tank Davis going to knock him out and they're going to make up an excuse. But Tank Davis got the rematch with Lamont Roach brewing. After that, Tank Davis and Lomachenko, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Make it happen. Tank Davis and his team, they reached out after the Lamont Roach fight to see if Lomachenko was available. Make it happen. And drop a comment in the comment section and let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.